Hey everybody, my name is Noah Flater. I am the face model for Kenshi. I did the motion capture for 8 of the Mortal Kombat characters, and let's get started on the Liu Kang video. Okay guys, Liu Kang was probably one of my favorite characters I got to do for the franchise. They really just let me full range go the hell off doing Liu Kang. It was just really fun. His base martial arts that Liu Kang really started with, a suggestion from Carlos Pensina, the action director on site with me. He really wanted me to focus on Bak Mei or Bak Mei Pai, which translates to white eyebrow kung fu. I was like, why is it called white eyebrow? That's so weird. And he was like the guy that created that style of fighting, had crazy white eyebrows, kind of like the guy in Kill Bill. Okay, cool. So I did some research, I studied, and Carlos gave me a lot of pointers on how to do Bak Mei Pai. And of course, I added my spicy Taekwondo kicks in there and as many of my big tricks that I can throw with Liu Kang into that sequence. So my prep for Liu Kang was very unique. When I got hired to do MK, they actually said that I was the first performer that ever requested to have rehearsals or even get that granted to him, which is kind of crazy to me. But all in all, it was a huge blessing because I really got to spend more time with the animators prior to going into studio, talking about the design of each character that they really were looking for. I remember talking to everybody in the room on a Zoom call before I flew out to Chicago. What were things that they were really looking for Liu Kang? And I know he's such an important character, especially going into MK1. What is it they're really looking for? His background being a Chinese martial artist, they really wanted him to feel grounded as some type of Chinese style, and we landed on Bak Mei Pai. In the past games, he's had so much Bruce Lee emphasis. They wanted to move a little bit away from that, but I have a huge background in JKD that I was like, it'd be really cool to add in more Bruce Lee personality in between hits. I remember when we were filming, we did add combinations where it started off as Bak Mei Pai, and we tried doing things that translated more into JKD towards the end of it. I think we ended up moving away from that for this game, where it's more Bak Mei Pai style hits, but at the end of it, he has so much personality and swagger like Bruce Lee that I think just turned out phenomenal in the game. I definitely remember doing the nose wipe in rehearsal, showing them those little things. I know that Liu Kang has moments where he does the Bruce Lee dance backwards. I showed them all of that in studio and in the prep. It was just awesome. Part of the prep, which was really cool, was I got first look into the concept art for every main character that I was doing. They would show me the previous games of what they had looked like and what they're really trying to go for this game. And a huge emphasis for Liu Kang was that he was a god, and they wanted a lot of that prideful energy in being a god. The stature is very tall and proper, and the way that he fights, he has that nose swipe and then comes back into guard. They wanted that type of element. They showed that in the concept art for Liu Kang. It was really freaking cool. They would write the biography of every character for me, so I would get to know them a little bit more intimately just by the written dialogue from the storytellers, which was just so freaking cool. Like, am I getting paid to do this? This is insane. Some of the most iconic moments that I had doing Liu Kang were those Taekwondo style kicks. They have a few different options for me to kick in studio. Carlos could hold kick paddles for me, and that's the best way to replicate some of the real contact type movements. Honestly, what we ended up using the most was this like one pillar that's inside the studio that they just wrapped pads around. So I ended up just kicking that pillar, padded pillar, that worked out great. It actually cuts into one of my other favorite stories, which is my flying sidekick that I helped design for Liu Kang. The flying sidekick in general, I did it for all of the characters, all the 8 characters that I did. And I had to think of something very unique and different for each character. Now, mind you, they really wanted to take a lot of inspiration from Bruce Lee for a lot of his style movements. So this flying sidekick, I remember being in studio where they were like, okay, Bruce Lee's flying sidekick is so iconic. We want to take inspiration from Bruce Lee for Liu Kang. And I was like, okay, man, it's been so long since I've seen Bruce Lee do a flying sidekick. I was like, let's put it up on monitor. Let's take it frame by frame. I got to watch this. There isn't really good footage of Bruce Lee doing a flying sidekick. So we found one it doesn't show me the way that Bruce Lee takes off. Traditionally with the flying sidekick, it's one foot plants, the other leg chambers, and that chambering leg lifts you into the air to do the sidekick. Back in the 60s, nobody was doing jump kicks. So I think the way that he was doing it was like, definitely we saw it. He plants both of his feet together and jumps together and does the kick. Of course, his arms are wide open and he's louder than life doing his kicks, but the way that he plants his foot and jumps together isn't the way that I'd like doing my flying sidekick. Now, mind you, Bruce Lee is the freaking legend, the GOAT of all GOATs. But again, I don't think back then they were really thinking about the art of flying kicks. Nowadays, it's a scientifically like trained thing that we can do. So I was like, okay guys, I just let all the animators know. I was like, I'm gonna show you my flying sidekick. You guys let me know if you guys like it. If you don't like it, we can do it Bruce's way. All the cameras start rolling and I was like, okay, get into my stance. I go, boom, step, do as perfect of a flying sidekick as I can. I use Bruce Lee's arms, which isn't normal for me, but the silhouette of my kick, I really tried to focus on that, landed, and then I was quiet. And I was like, oh, they hated it. The guy in charge was like, I think that was better than Bruce Lee's flying sidekick. I was like, what? That was it, one take, let's move on. That was it. So that was like one of my all-time favorite memories being in that room was that flying sidekick for Liu Kang. But one of the other really iconic moments was helping develop Liu Kang's new bicycle kick. And that was something that they really asked me for. Yep, that's Liu Kang's new bicycle kick. I remember being in studio and they were asking me, typically, traditionally, Liu Kang's bicycle kick has always been the front kicks. Boom, 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 boom. They're like, this game is gonna be very special. We wanna think of something a little bit different. And I was like, okay, you know, this is in my prep time. I'm thinking like, what can I do that's a little different? I have an idea, I don't tell them about it. I eventually fly out, I go in studio. It's Liu Kang day. And I'm like, okay, let me show you guys my 720 back kick. And they went ape shit for that. They were like, oh my God, that is so cool. And I was like, is it weird if I'm rotating this way, but moving forward, attacking constantly with side kick, back kick, side kick, back kick? And they were like, no, that's actually perfect. Let's see how this looks. It looks way cooler the way they broke it down. My initial rotations for a 720 back kick, the way I spin is too fast for the video game, and it's only one hit, right? You jump in the air, you spin, and then you fire a back kick. I did a 720 side back kick where I make sure that I do the side kick and then the back kick. They got the rotation of the way that I'm supposed to move, but what was really important was we got the silhouette of every side kick and back kick that I could do for the characters. So we had to blend my 720 jump back kick, my side kicks, and my jump back kicks. And then at the very end, his jumping push off just to end it with the bicycle kick, which I used the pillar. Literally, I jumped off the pillar and just hit like that. Honestly, the hardest part was that chambered knee right there, really being pulled back. Initially, my chambered knee was kind of out here and it didn't look very dynamic. It was the only thing I really had to fix. And it's really cool to see them blend all of those different moves together. That move there, to finish it off as an option, I do a tucked aerial, which is my version of a side flip. I actually used it a lot for Kung Lao. For Liu Kang, we made sure that we did that and it would be a hit off of the opponent and landing into it. So it was a combination of like 5, 6 different moves all blended together to make this version of the bicycle kick. I hope everybody enjoys that and plays the hell out of Liu Kang. My learning experience, my takeaway from Liu Kang is I wouldn't be able to do Liu Kang if I didn't train the way that I do now. I train very intensively. Honestly, it kind of seems inhuman or impossible to a normal person the way that I train. I train that way because one, I just really enjoy it for myself. I love seeing what I can do and what I can't do. But if I didn't stay ready, I would have never been able to perform the God of Fire the way that he was performed. So I'm really, really glad that I stay ready the way that I do year long. I'm trying to eat the best that I can. I'm trying to recover the best that I can. And I'm in the gym all the time because there are moments that come very few to certain individuals that have an opportunity to perform like that. And hopefully it lives for you guys to be entertained and even inspired to start your own journey. So honestly, that's my favorite takeaway from Liu Kang, and I hope it's inspired you guys to be on this app with me, train the way that you guys can at home, and honestly, just try to become the best versions of yourself. It's kind of what Liu Kang means to me. So thank you guys for supporting. I'll see you guys on the next video.